Hey guys, welcome back to Bonsai Crazy. Now, in front of me today, I have my giant sequoia bonsai masterpiece that I started about 3 years ago or 4 years ago now. Me and Nigel Saunders from the Bonsai Zone started at the same time, and it's been an ever progressing thing for us both that we discover what the secret of giant sequoias and how they should be trimmed and how they should be treated, because there's not a lot of information out there on it. Like I say, Nigel Saunders and I started our tree composition at the same time, and neither of us knew anything about giant sequoias as bonsai. So, and I know he's having problems with it. I'm having problems with them as well. They're not an easy tree to keep by any stretch of the imagination. But I finally think I've discovered the secret of trimming them, and I'm gonna let you know that secret a little bit later on. But first off, we have to do some pruning on this tree. I've made the decision that I'm going to be doing 2 trunk chops and a fairly heavy prune on these 2 trees today. And I've never done a heavy prune on them, and I don't know what to expect. I don't know how they're going to react. So far, their reaction to being pruned has not been great. So it's a very big risk that I'm taking with these trees today, but it kind of has to happen because they're outgrowing the whole composition is just getting very, very, very big. Obviously they're giant sequoias, so they want to be the biggest tree in the world. Now I'm not gonna trim for structure and taper and all the rest of it up to the top. I'm gonna trim purely to get it under control, see how the tree then reacts to what I've done. It's a whole test for the tree, really. So yeah, a couple of trunk chops and we'll see what happens with this tree. I'm going to cut back fairly hard, and then I'll tell you the secret that I've discovered, Nigel, about trimming these trees. First off, the thicker branches, we're going to use scissors, and we're going to use proper tools. So the tools I'm going to use today are some concave cutters and some really good, sharp, clean scissors. Then for some wire cutters and wire, and a pair of pliers. So they're the tools we're going to use today. And first off, I'm going to go with the big chops. So let's get going on this tree. So I brought you up to the top of the tree here, and as you can see, it really is overgrowing now, and there's a lot going on, and it really does need a trim back. So first off, we're going to go for the big trunk chop. I'm going to get a couple of these branches out of the way that are not going to be used, like so. I'm going to trunk chop the tree just there, and that's the head come off of the tree. And then I'm going to wire this branch up to become the leader. Now I very much suspect that this branch here will die back, but that can't be helped. I do suspect that, so I'm not going to go crazy on this top part now. What I am going to do is trim back hard on this branch. There, and that branch can come down, and this one can come up, and we're going to trim this back branch here today. So that pulls us all in nicely. And that's that one done. That's that tree done. So this tree here, we're going to go with a big chop, and that's going to be right there. And we're going to pull this one up to become the leader. So I'm gonna take off a branch that is too much for that area there. So there's too many branches, one underneath each other. So we've taken that away. So hopefully you can see in here, this whole side of this second tree has got lots of branches coming out, and we don't need any of them. So I'm going to try and get in here, and I'm going to get rid of the branches that are not needed, because it's quite low down on the trunk. And they're interfering with the other tree. So I'm just going to clear some space for it, so you can actually see the two different trunks that are going on. So we've cleaned that out quite considerably. So we cleaned that out really quite considerably there. And you can see what I was saying. These branches back here they look dead at the tips, is because I was actually trimming with my scissors, just to see their reaction. And it turns out that trimming with the scissors is not what giant sequoias like. So I've had to come up with another way. Let me just take these out of here, all these lower branches that are not going to be needed. As I was saying, I've discovered the secret to giant sequoias and what they like. And that, Nigel, is pinching. They love to be pinched. I recently went away on holiday to France, but before I did go, I decided that I was going to start to pinch all the dead bits away, just to see how the tree would react, because the tree does suffer from a bit of dieback, and hence the problem of it looking very bad when you trim it. So I decided that I was going to do an experiment for myself, and I just literally pinched. So here, take this branch here for example. Now, there's not a lot of growth. There's not a lot of branches coming out of it. So, but if I wanted to, I could then just pinch back and I'll get no browning. You won't get any browning from them. So the tip ends, just pinch and pinch, and then you should start getting some branches coming out. Now you can only do it on the very tips really. It's quite hard to do the thicker ones. So just come in with your scissors in that case, and a little snip, and then if they start browning, then you pinch away that browning. So Nigel, hope you're listening, but the tree seems to react really well to pinching. So the secret is out there now. So the secret is out there, Nigel, and I've passed on the information, which is the best I can do. And we're going to give this tree a little bit more of a trim, but then when we come to the bigger bits, we're going to pinch, Nigel. Pinch it away. That one didn't quite work, so we'll give that a little. You've got to get it at a point where it's very soft. So the very tips are very good to pinch back, and then it gets a little bit harder, I've discovered. The thicker it gets, then you've got to use your scissors. But the very tips are okay to pinch. So I'm going to get some wire on this now. I've got quite a thick wire. I think this is either 2mm or 3mm, just to hold it in position. So I'm going to wire this one first. So I learnt a very good tip from Foss Bonsai, and he said at the very beginning that you put your wire on, if you want an extreme bend, then bend it in that position that you want it to be bent in, straight off. So that's what I've just done there, and hopefully that will cause less of a kink when it comes to the tree standing upright. So there we go, we've got a wire on that part. Just going to get a wire on the top part there now. I'm not going to bore you with that. I'll just come back when it's done. So the last thing I'm going to do, guys, is I'm going to get a bit of a tourniquet on this tree, because I want to pull it into the trunk a little bit more. Just like so. So we get a tourniquet on that. Pull that in slightly. So there we go, guys, there's my little trim of my giant sequoia bonsai masterpiece, and I really hope it does well this year. There's still a bit more I can trim off here, just to open it out slightly. There we go. So I hope you enjoyed it today. I hope you enjoyed discovering the secret, and the secret is pinching, especially the very tips. I'm hoping now that this tree is going to be all right. I'm going to put some cut paste on both of those big cuts that I've made, and then that's it. That's the composition all done. I'm gonna just trim away these bottom pieces here that are sticking down. Just like so. And that's it, we're all finished. As ever, please like and subscribe and follow my craziness throughout the years, and I'll see you all on the next one, guys. And I'm fingers crossed for this composition. Hopefully it doesn't react badly and start browning and doing all the stuff that it has been doing. Hopefully now that will be okay and it won't happen. So as ever, guys, please like and subscribe, follow my craziness throughout the years, and I'll see you next time. Ta-da.